Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. We have kind of a strange hybrid approach to covering the launch today. But cover the launch we will.
Part of a rapidly reusable launch system also means the pad infrastructure. Yeah. We performed multiple standalone tests and have used this new system for both the Flight 2 booster static fire tests. And we've also reinforced the pad pretty significantly from Flight 1. Yes. Now,
so as you can hear, can you folks hear me? How are you, Mr. October? Good to see you. Can you hear the broadcast from SpaceX? Okay, Mr. October. How are you feeling, by the way?
Right there at the Super Heavy booster. This is what houses all of the equipment needed to fuel the Super Heavy booster and condition it for flight, as well as all of those electrical, communication, and data connections between the ground and Starship. Bottom line is, it's an important part of how we talk to Starship on the ground and understand that...
Okay, thank you, but you can at least hear it. I do have it turned down so that I can be heard over it. It is 4:40 something in the morning here, and I have had about 4 hours sleep and just spooling this up. So forgive me if I'm not the most lucid human being on planet Earth.
Downtime in between. Full and rapid reusability is the key to making routine space travel a reality, and SpaceX has been working on this since its inception. Yeah, with SpaceX's family of Falcon launch vehicles, which are the first and only orbital class rockets capable of reflight, we started that, and Starship is going to take this even further with a reusable first and second stage. Now, while most rockets are expended after their portion of the mission, SpaceX rockets land back on Earth and are quickly returned to our...
Just sending out a little announcement about being live, my friends. Bear with me just one moment. All right.
Have been reused, or as we like to say, flight proven. So while launching and landing rockets may seem routine today, this was not always the case. For those of you that...
Alan Saurus Rex, how are you, my friend? Good day.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I am tired. How are you? Good to hear your voice.
I am also tired, sir, but I think you already know that.
Yeah. Have you had any sleep in the last 48 hours whatsoever?
Nope.
So sorry to hear that.
My plan was to relax until the launch, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I'll do a short little stream, and I did that. And then here I am again.
Well, welcome in. Welcome in. Mr. October, you say medicine's doing its job. I'm glad to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that, my friend. So let's look at the screen here for a moment, Alan and chat. I don't know if you can see and what the quality is, but SpaceX is sort of rehashing the history of their efforts to get to today, and I think drawing a big fat line under the iterative approach that they like to promote to flight test and go fast and break things.
245 times since our first reflight of an orbital class booster 6 years.
You gotta admit, it's a beautiful morning for this, though. Look at these shots.
It's absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. I am streaming this from their feed on their own website as expected. When I attempted to watch it on the platform formerly known as Twitter, I was getting nothing but buffering and lags.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to stick with this approach. Hopefully it works okay. OBS looks reasonably clean to me. And Mr. October, our friend in chat, is reporting that while the volume is a bit low, otherwise it looks all right. I've got the volume cranked down quite low. Good morning, Trust. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, some of the alerts and things, folks, because we're doing the news, is going to be a little bit suppressed, but let me see if I can sneak in a Trust shout out before things get too hectic. And also, I don't know if Alan is in chat. No, it doesn't look like he is. Alan.
Hold on, I got you. I got you. It doesn't show up until you actually say something first, I've realized.
Okay.
You go have some morning cake.
Thank
the
you.
usual's good in here.
Thank you. And that's the voice you hear there.
We aren't just building a new spacecraft.
In fact, it's not. The commands are not. Oh, I haven't started the stupid bot. I'm so sorry.
Rocket ever flown, and
Pro stream, everybody.
Yep.
This
Hey,
isn't his usual time. He's not supposed to be here.
I am very, very tired at the moment.
This mission continues with flights like today's integrated.
I will wash, rinse, and repeat what I just did. We're gonna fail fast but learn even faster. The SpaceX representative says. Yes. Yeah, you hear this? All right. There's Trust. And there's Alan. Please give these wonderful folks follows. I'm going to be a little bit busy to do the full-throated shout-outs. Alan is the voice you hear sharing the podium with me, the dais, the panel. I had about four hours sleep, basically. I did wolf down a cup of tea, didn't even do my coffee. It wasn't because I figured if I go full-throated breakfast and get up, they're going to scrub. If I just have like a normal strength cup of tea, such that I might be able to go back to sleep if this thing all ends early, they'll fly. So here we are. Thank you, Trust. You should hear our karaoke sessions in here.
I can do spoken word karaoke pretty well.
I want you to channel. I want you to channel your inner James T. Kirk karaoke.
But why? I was looking for you about they went live 30 minutes prior, and I was like, I don't know if I message him to wake him up if he's not awake for it. I feel like they're gonna scrub, so I'm just gonna see if he pops on his own.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually don't have notifications on anything such that it'll wake me up. I am get off my lawn level 5.
Okay, I don't have to worry about that. Even then, I still, as somebody who doesn't, is a light sleeper, I still feel bad. It's like, I don't know, they might get this one. I don't want to bother them.
I know, I appreciate that very much. I really do. Panda, good to see you, buddy. How are you? Welcome in. We're streaming Starship test flight number 2. I don't have the camera on. I will not have the camera on for this stream. Hashtag reasons. And it is true that you cannot see my fingers doing the quotations, the air quotations when we say flight. I don't know whether it's going to fly. I think the odds are 50-50 it will actually fly. We shall see. To recap a bit, if you were not here for the last time Alan and I were streaming rockets and tears, we witnessed the first effort on April the 20th. Oddly enough, an easy date for me to remember. Yes, it was 420.
Same.
And the Starship and the Super Heavy booster lifted off with most of its engines running, not all, and then quickly it became apparent that it was not operating within normal parameters. The flight termination system was triggered. It did not actually fire initially, and eventually, after much tumbling and air sickness, the vehicle was destroyed. So they turned out, funny thing, the launch pad was not actually flight ready. Flight termination system not actually flight ready. There were some words with the Federal Aviation Administration about the launch license between SpaceX and that government agency and the Fish and Wildlife Service, also the neighbors. That has finally been worked out, and we're back with some slightly modified, SpaceX would probably argue very much modified systems, including the launch pad, which now has a metal plate at the bottom and a water dowsing system. The spacecraft, sorry, Alan, you are going to get a speaking part. The caffeine just kicked in, though.
You good, man. This is your stream. You do what you got to do.
The spacecraft is now has an upgraded or evolved flight termination system, or you'll hear them refer to it as FTS, and it also has a new interface between the Super Heavy booster and Starship. It is now going to do something called hot staging, where the Starship's engines will fire while the two vehicles are attached. The previous and the most common in spaceflight approach was to separate the two vehicles and then fire the engines on the second stage. On this flight, they are going to attempt to fire the engines while they're still attached. And there are many reasons for that my state of rest and lack of overall caffeination will not try and explain right now, but they think it's going to be more better. That's that scientific term, more better. Google it, you'll see it's there on Wikipedia. So, hey, Wolfie, how are you? Good to see you, Wolfie. We're gonna resume our normal shouty out sort of stuff after the flight. I would actually get Gaming Panda as well as Wolfie, but folks, click on those links, click on their profiles. Panda and Wolfie, wonderful people, wonderful streamers. Please drop them a follow and check them out. So here we are in South Texas. And we're looking at the Super Heavy booster, which has 33 engines and the Starship rocket on top. We were delayed by a few days here by a failure of an actuator of one of the grid fins. That's a device that moves one of the objects that you see sticking out, the small silhouetted objects that you just mid-rocket near where that vapor is now pouring out, that little jet that just started. Those are used to provide some steering as the Super Heavy booster is returning to Earth, if it in fact reaches that point on the flight. Once again, the Starship is going to be flying suborbital if all goes according to plan. It will not achieve orbit, but it is going to splash into the waters near Hawaii. The Super Heavy booster will be coming back much sooner than that. Neither of these are going to be returning to land for reuse. They are going into the water. And there's no cargo on board, and there are no people on board.
That we know of.
That we know of. And if you don't know why Alan is joining me here, I hope you do. He is a huge space buff, also super aware of and intelligent, and much informed about the world of space flight. He's my good friend, and he pays me. He pays me, frankly. This is how I pay my rent.
$50 an hour. You too can hang out with Aerospace News, everybody.
Mongo, good to see you, buddy. How are you, my friend? Hey, Fire Kitchen, another person that I owe a shout out to. Good afternoon to you, my friend. Shout outs are on hold while we do the launch, but please click on the Fire Kitchen's profile. Excellent streamer, excellent human being, excellent purveyor of deep, deep, deep voices. The Fire Kitchen, great World of Warships player. Mongo, I would shout you out if you streamed. I just shout you out for the love, buddy. Wonderful guy. One of my favorite human beings on the Twitches. Absolutely habitual liker and supporter of YouTube content and kindness. Love Mongo very much. So chat, what do you think? Hey, IB, good morning. What do you think? Will it actually complete the flight profile? Alan, I'd love to hear your guess. What are the odds of it completing the flight profile? Or do you think we're going to get an early flight termination for some reason? Trust is saying it will make it.
Something's going to explode at one point. I'm not sure if it's going to be the whole thing, or I feel like the second stage is going to have problems, if anything.
Okay. So
I'm really hoping after how many months out? April? They've hopefully ironed everything out. I mean, we've had successful, first flights for a lot of other things in the industry.
Indeed. So Alan is, to use racing parlance, I think Alan is saying they're going to get a podium. They're not going to quite get the top of the podium, but they're going to be on the podium.
They're going to hit a manhole cover at one point. That's going to do some damage.
Hashtag F1. Nice shout out there for F1.
Looking so forward to this weekend, but I'm not sure anymore.
Yep. 50% says trust. Ferrari, indeed. Good morning, IB. It's good to see you. So for those of you not in North America, I think this camera is looking to the south and east. Hey, Panda. Thank you so much for the subscription Tier 1, appreciate it so much, my friend. I forgot the alerts are still working on this scene, but thank you. I'm very grateful, my friend. 40 seconds to go. All right, my guess is that actually that it is not going to succeed. I think that there's going to be a problem at staging. I hope they succeed. I'd like to see this program work, but I think that even the changes made to the pad are insufficient, and I think that the rocket and its flight control systems are still too immature to successfully carry out beyond this point of staging. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I wish the SpaceX team all the luck in the world. I really do. JB, good to see you, buddy. Are they holding? That was weird. It felt like that.
Yeah, they said they would have a hold at 40 if there's any. They said the only thing that was really holding them backwards is a couple boats that are still out there in the water and stuff they're trying to usher away.
Okay, thank you for telling me that, because I looked away for a second.
That was before you got live. I think that was before you went live. They were talking about that.
Thank you so much, Alan. Given the nature of their, internet services, Chad, if you don't know, SpaceX has ceased streaming to YouTube their launches. They're now streaming to their website only and to the platform formerly known as Twitter. And the streaming I have found there to be very unreliable. This is the first launch of theirs that I've attempted to cover live using this methodology. So was worried that we had lost the feed there for a moment. Thank you. Hey, Old Grumpy, good to see you. Old Grumpy's predicting a big explosion coming up. Yeah, I'm on Team Explosion. I hope I'm wrong. God, the light is gorgeous, and the vapor is so cinematic. So drama. So
they can hold for 15 minutes. So we play the waiting game.
Yeah. The
And it's worth mentioning here that don't go away. We are holding at T-minus 40 seconds, but once the teams have resolved and see the data that they want to see, the clock can restart straight away and it'll start ticking down from.
I think it's only a 20-minute launch window, if I'm not mistaken. So this won't be going on too long if they don't fly.
We only have a 20-minute launch window. So
Thank you. She can just convert. Yep.
Don't change the channel. And just like Shiva said, we can restart.
Indeed, JB.
There it goes.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Clock is rolling, and we are clock rolling. T-minus 30 seconds.
Drone shots, everybody. Oh, what a brave new world. We didn't have no drone shots when I was a boy. We had to walk to the rocket through the snow uphill both ways. Kids today, am I right?
They just don't know, man. They just don't know. It
30
would be very hilarious if it just explodes right away. Not gonna lie, that'd be a great little laugh.
33 engines, Raptors. And the feed just stopped. There we go.
Definitely
Liftoff.
stuttering.
All right. There is an indication on the left-hand side of the number of functioning Raptor engines. Reminder, the Raptor engines meant to operate in the atmosphere are just called Raptor engines, and they have another variant that operate in the vacuum of space. 30 seconds into the flight. The period of staging will come sooner than the last flight as well. That is a function of the change in the flight profile. Also, the vehicle...
Ooh, engines are still good.
The amount of fuel on board and the duration of the burn of the booster, the super heavy first stage, is shorter than the last one as well. The upper stage will be doing more of the work to carry out the mission profile. For now, all the rocket's engines do appear to be functioning. SpaceX so far is doing pretty well, except for the exposure on the camera. The commentator is speaking about approaching max Q. Good morning, AF. How are you, buddy? Glad you could join us. We're very close to staging. I believe it's at like the 156 mark. So far, we've got 100% of the engines on the booster, Super Heavy, still working.
Putting the first stage on path for a splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
I thought we would be at the staging point by now. Maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody forgot to take off the bolts.
Yep.
Engine power continues to look nominal on 33 Raptor engines. We're about to shut down the first stage and perform.
Apparently, I remembered incorrectly the staging point. Let's watch, folks. This should be spectacular one way or the other. So far, it looks like a stable rocket.
It looks just like those oversized rockets I build in Kerbal. Usually, they're some of the more challenging launches, so this is awesome.
All right, down to 3 rockets. That appears to be nominal. Here goes the staging.
Flip. Ooh.
We're looking at 2 rockets now.
Oh.
That's 2 rockets, everybody. Oh, let's go, exposure. Look at folks, look at the indication of the motor, the Raptors firing on the lower left-hand corner of your screen. It was a very interesting asymmetrical. Oh!
As you can see, the Super Heavy booster has just experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly.
That flight termination system did appear to be functioning.
Yeah, that works.
Oh my goodness. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that first stage is not going to be reused. I mean, let's wait for the investigation, but based on my experience and what I think I saw, probably not flying again. And don't be at me with they didn't intend to fly it again. I'm just saying. Panda, what just happened is the first stage, the Super Heavy booster, was terminated, and the flight termination system worked spectacularly. I don't think there's any case at all, any sense at all that I don't think there's any chance at all that was rapid self-disassembly. I think that was an ordered. I think the flight termination system fired. That was so rapid and so definitive. I'm pretty sure that they sent a command to destroy that, or the flight termination system inadvertently fired.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it fell apart. It'll rub right out, Fire Kitchen.
This is amazing.
Primary objective of the booster today to get to hot staging, to get ship on its way to orbit.
SpaceX coming in with the facts here. It was to at least get to hot staging, and Starship upper stage is apparently still on its way, and I'm still seeing some glowy bits.
Starship's second stage, it's firing those engines, and as you just heard, everything's looking good. Now, for the ship, we wanted it to survive hot staging, which
We wanted it to survive hot staging.
Yeah, there's a lot of money going right there.
Yep.
We also want to basically demonstrate that the successful startup of those engines, demonstrating controlled ascent, which is what it's doing right now, and eventually orbital insertion. We are hoping to basically.
So we have no cameras apparently on board Starship. I'm surprised they don't have video being fed to us.
I did say earlier this is supposed to be one of the first times that they're testing at all with Starlink, so I'm surprised they don't have the feed to kind of show off their data. But
yeah, I mean this is sort of like freckle camera mode, except it's not a dark freckle; it's just a dot. Indeed, Mongo and JB. So, yeah, in other news, we're at 149 kilometers of altitude and going 14,000 kilometers per hour. And don't forget, there's an illustration on the right-hand side of the lower part of the screen, and that is the combination of atmospheric and vacuum Raptor engines mounted on the Starship itself. So the big ones, those are the ones optimized for flight in the vacuum of space.
And we're not targeting orbit today. We're targeting almost.
The small ones are the atmospheric Raptor engines, similar to the ones that were on the first stage. And they appear to have all the Raptors operating nominally.
But also to get to the energy levels that the
Grumpy,
dissipate for
I don't believe they had a license to go to orbit, but they are
suborbital trajectory today.
they are intending, and their plan is to fly suborbital, meaning not to. They're going to be going to the edge of space, but it will not be on a trajectory intended to attain orbit,
Those calls that we are still on a
exceeding escape velocity, in other words,
nominal pressures means that we have
and achieving an orbital altitude.
Yeah. Now, if the booster had survived, we would be around the time where it would be getting ready to land, performing its.
Yeah, as Truss points out,
it unfortunately did not
the dynamics, the thermal dynamics, especially of reentry, are very risky.
survive several seconds after hot staging.
Terminal guidance, I just heard a call for.
The hot staging sequence and probably improve the hardware itself for the next.
Now, I don't know in this case whether that means that it is going to continue on its original trajectory or whether that means that they've given it up.
Engine just went out.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
engines
looks like
are.
an explosion.
I think we've got a double boom here. Both stages have apparently exploded. No commentary yet from SpaceX, but Alan correctly observed that roughly 8 minutes into the flight,
Standing by for a call out here.
all of the iconography for the rocket engines, the Raptors, indicated it's turned off. Also, the altitude and speed changes
Oh.
have ceased.
As you can tell by the excitement from the crowd here at Mission Control Center in Hawthorne. There's a great view of our Star Command Center. That's our control center at Starbase, Texas. The crowd here, Mission Control Center behind us in Hawthorne. Everyone is.
Boy, the camera work on this one,
What a successful day this has been.
once it flew, was somewhat disappointing. So I'm not sure where we are. There are people continuing to be optimistic and applaud, and the countdown clock is continuing. Well, the count is counting up, obviously. Is it?
Up to this point, major successful milestones through hot staging, which was the big objective today.
Is it possible that we've just got loss of signal?
We are going to head into the coast phase. Mark. And that's
It's early.
while we
No
wait for
worries.
Starship to continue on to its next step for reentry.
So they've stopped the telemetry,
And
which is why we were confused.
normally by overflying ground
Maybe that's why we didn't have video data, is they didn't have enough. I know usually their analytics comes first.
Starlink
Maybe that's the problem, is they're having a problem feeding that in.
Yeah, maybe we reported the death of the upper stage too soon here, folks. But
chat around the nets, so we're going to try to parse that for you.
but the reason that I reached that conclusion is that we A, saw the flash on the screen, B, we saw the indication that the motors ceased to operate, and that coincided with the animation ceasing for speed and altitude. You would expect there to still be some at least small changes in that, even if they were in the coast phase. That is JB. Given the nature of the Raptor engines, there could have been a weird dynamic visual effect when they were shut off normally. So what we saw could have been an indication of simply engine shutdown. you know, we haven't seen, unlike Falcon, we haven't seen enough of these
Hawthorne at our webcast desk.
to know.
We have lost the data from the second stage. We had heard a call out that we were internal guidance, which means we were getting near the end of the approximately 6-minute burn of Starship. But we haven't gotten any more data since then. So we think we may have lost the second stage. So we would not be into coast phase. We wouldn't be able to come back in an hour or so and possibly get ready for reentry.
So they lost the rocket, is what I'm hearing. They lost the rocket.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be what the evidence suggests.